Alright, tubers, here we are at the Natural Bridge State Park. This is going to be our last day here in Natural Bridge. This is the beautiful, beautiful Visitors Center. So they got an old building over there. Not really sure what it is, but really historic, very colonial style. We're going to go in just a minute. They're just parking, we're getting ready, and we're going to take a few pictures and come on along on this interesting adventure to the Natural Bridge. Has been registered as a Virginia Historic Landmark. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Visitors Center. Here's the Natural Bridge Cafe. Looks like they're closed right now. Might be closed for the season. And yes, we are in Virginia wine country. You guys can see all the different wines that are made in this region. You can pause the video if you want to see that. Different types of toffee. That's pretty cool. Little wine cork here, Natural Bridge State Park. Yeah, that's really cool. Sell various different types of peanuts. Is that peanuts? Yep. Salted cashews. Smoky peanuts for the Smoky Mountains. Love the old wagon. Old style, let's say. Stone Mountain Snacks. Yeah, Boston baked beans, which I'm sure taste nothing like beans. The mountains are calling. Natural Bridge State Park. Unplugged. Well, I guess technically I'm not unplugged at the moment. What'd you find? Of course, you're over in the jewelry. Yeah, Mom's looking at the different, let's see, what are these? Earrings. Evergreen leaf earrings. Pretty cool. This is definitely not the kind of shirt you would need in weather like this, even though it's in the 50s, but you know, this is more of a summer vacation destination. Here we go. Natural Bridge State Park. I'll have to thumb through these, see if they have anything in my size. But yeah, so this is the Visitors Center. Say hi. Hi, everybody. I'm going to go and pause this video and I'll pick it up here. When we get up. Check out this gourd. Mom just pointed it out. Absolutely gorgeous. Big, real standard pumpkins. These kind of look like little French horns. That is so cool. There's another little place to eat here. Oh, isn't that gorgeous? See, a lot of this, unfortunately, is closed today, but this is another part of the cafe. The smell here is unbelievable. It's like they've been smoking cedar or something. Oh, look at this fireplace. This thing is massive. Ooh, no fires today, though. I tell you, they really could use it. Wow. Oh, yeah? Mom wants a picture, so let's take a look at this. Little pond here, looks like. Full of leaves. There's going to be even more full of leaves once these start changing and turning. Mom and Dad want to get a picture, so I'm going to pause this vlog and we'll continue when we go on here. Got some rules and regulations. Just a little information here. You guys can pause the video if you want to read that. But yeah, we're going to head on to the trail. Oh, I see it already. That is absolutely gorgeous. This is the Natural Bridge. It was formed over thousands of years. By the way, the water would erode the rock. Unbelievable. Bless you. Oh man, definitely got to get some pictures of this. We get closer, I'll definitely get some really good personal. Mom just read it's 55 feet higher than Niagara Falls. You can see all the different kind of rocks that make this up. gray limestone, mostly gray limestone, but there's definitely other rocks mixed in, especially when you see the coloration there. Unbelievable. It's odd when you think the trees have actually grown in that section up there. I wonder if the roots really had enough room up there in the soil. You would think most of that would be full of rocks. Absolutely beautiful. Then you can see the river. This is actually a river that flows down here. Just notice this. It's the way the water eroded under the rocks. What does that say?
Somebody carved their name.
J. Hay, 1855. That's been there since 1855. Unbelievable. Yeah, a lot of visitors here. But yeah, the water eroded under these rocks. They almost look like they're about to fall underneath the natural bridge. What do you think? Gorgeous.
On me.
No way. It's amazing how hollow it is. I really would have thought there would have been more of a support structure under there. You can see where the moss is kind of growing underneath, right there.
Can you hear that?
It's a little bit.
Echo. Hear it?
Yeah. Echo, echo. We're at the natural bridge. Hello. That is so cool. You got even more moss growing over here. I know. And look at this. You can see right here the way the water eroded the rock over time. It made it almost like little strands going diagonally. And you even get grass growing out of the rocks. Yeah, you do. You got some trees up there as well. Beautiful, beautiful area. Unbelievable. Straight underneath the natural bridge here in South. Maybe you guys can tell us. She's saying it looks like somebody actually piled those rocks in that crevice, but I don't think so. I think that was natural. Could have been dead, so maybe it was a repair, but I hate to say it. I actually think that looks natural. Yeah. But the bridge. Unbelievable what nature. It's got just a different effect there. It's at a different angle. Yeah, but you can definitely see the trees up there for sure. Looks like that might be a maple tree right there. I don't think my camera's focusing very well, but you can see it from this end. If you look at this, it almost looks like a human ear, the way it's shaped, kind of curved in the front and then straight at the back there. Unbelievable. This is the kind of stuff that, for me at least, is once in a lifetime. Very, very clear water. They have these little mini waterfalls bridge, all over 215 feet high, 40 feet thick, 100 feet wide, and with a 90-foot span between the walls. The arch contains 450,000 cubic feet of rock, weighing 72 million pounds, or 36,000 tons, and is estimated to be at least 500 million years old. And at its peak, the bridge is 1,160 feet above sea level. The Lee Highway US Route 11 passes directly overhead. The most, can't read that, sublime of nature's work. And this was written by none other than... It took me a minute to figure out. I think what this is to store wood. When they do like bonfires, maybe for special events, they store the wood in here so it's not wet when they go to use it. I wish you guys could smell it. The cedar smell in this is unbelievable. This is the other side of the natural bridge. I have to say that the other side is a little bit nicer. This is kind of more obscured. It isn't as pronounced on this side. But yeah, you can still see that there's a fence up there where the little walkway is. I'm sure we'll probably be going over. All right, check this out, guys and gals. I should say guys and gals. This is the Another waterfall. It's a little bit stronger than the one we saw before. Got some white caps down there. Beautiful. I love the rock wall on the side here. The roots are growing up out of this tree. I guess they probably have to repair this every once in a while. You can see that the the blacktop starting to come up here. Oddly enough, it's kind of leaning too. I wonder if this tree is kind of at the end of life. Yeah, you could tell it's kind of starting to die at the top. Probably gonna have to take this one down eventually. But it's a gorgeous rock wall. I wonder if this is natural or if this is something they just made for the path. And here we come to the Indian village. Dad had to stay behind and sit for a bit. He's gonna meet up with us in a few minutes. Oh yeah, little outdoor stadium there. Very cool. Probably have a little bit of some concerts there. Maybe they put on some Indian shows. But here we come to this little tiny recreation of it to 3:45.
Palisades.
You want to read it?
Palisades were defensive perimeters constructed from hardwood posts and wattled with saplings. The fences were often 7 feet tall, packed with mud, and designed to protect the inhabitants from wild animals.
History exhibit circa 1699. I'm not going to read this whole thing. You guys can pause the video if you want to. Plus, probably taking some pictures of it. Longhouse structures were used for ceremonies and meetings. The house was large enough to allow participants from all 4 clans to gather. The clans were Bird, Bear, Wolf, and Turtle, kind of like the Cub Scouts. And each clan was assigned their own section of the longhouse. You want to go in?
Yeah.
Ooh, I guess the Indians were pretty short. Wow. That is so cool. Definitely have some holes in here. This is where they had the fires. You can see they put logs up for people to sit. Very cool. Another fire there. Probably whoever was performing was standing right there, I would think.
Look at the trap for the smoke.
Oh, yeah.
It opens and closes.
Really,
I think that's
really
what
cool.
this is for.
Yep.
Yeah.
To open and close that trap. Then you got,
It's all made out of bark.
it's like adobe pots there. Very cool. It's amazing how they did the structures here too. I mean, this probably only took a couple of days, maybe even one day to manufacture. Definitely effective though, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I would think it'd take a lot longer than that, though. There's a lot of work.
Well, I don't know. If you had enough Indians, they could probably get it done in a couple of days.
These are the daily activities of life.
So this is basically their giant incinerator back in the day. You definitely see some Indian corn right there. You know what else? Some other bits and pieces of corn. Make it a little bit more authentic. What this says. That is cool. Hide tanning area. Animal skins were processed for use in clothing, blankets, and trade. Primary method for tanning was using the animal's brains to soften the hide.
That's why I went, eh.
That's gross. But yeah, you can see they got some hides up here. This one's marked River Otter. Okay, I could see that.
There's a bobcat one, too.
Oh, Bobcat is on the other side. What do you think this is? Let me see.
Something big.
Yeah. Almost look like it could be like a brown bear or something.
There's a red fox.
Okay.
Red fox here, and this is a red fox and a gray fox.
Okay. Yeah, definitely see that. Some more hides here. They're not all marked, unfortunately, but they're definitely all well preserved. Got a few more over here. Looks like some more foxes. Yep.
No, groundhog.
Oh, groundhog and
a possum.
Oh, yeah, you can definitely see it in the face.
Groundhog and a possum.
That's cool.
This is a... Doesn't say.
This one's a beaver.
Oh, it's a deer skin. Here. This is a
Okay.
brain-tanned deer skin.
Brain tan deer skin.
Use the brain to make
Do you think you could find a use for something like that?
Beaver.
Yeah, definitely see the beaver. See what those are.
Skunk. That's what I thought. Skunk.
Skunks.
Can't you see the stripes?
Oh, yeah. Interesting color, though. Usually think of skunks as being black and white.
Raccoon. Oh, look at you can see the whole face.
Yeah, and you can see the legs, too.
Ooh. I don't know what
Okay,
that
I think we've seen enough
is.
hide. Called this a family dwelling, an ATI. These structures were covered with bark, reed mats, and thatched with cattails. Very cool. A little bit bigger than any one I've ever seen.
That's cool.
Well, we'll go inside.
Look at the beds, the raised beds.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, they got a fire. You can smell it.
These are the beds. This is where everybody used to sleep. They just had a fire going. Yep, I can see a few embers.
Lots of skins.
There's the trapdoor on top to let all the smoke out. Quite a few different types of baskets up there. Probably hold the corn, whatever they had, some of the hides and stuff. I'm sure that was probably the ones that were lined. You can see that they're hanging some hides here to dry. They would actually probably smoke them here too, because the fire would kind of give them that nice smoky smell, which I absolutely love. More beds on here. Somebody actually left a little paper cup there. It's the one thing that doesn't belong. All right, let's head out of this wigwam and see what else they have.
This doesn't look like something they would make either.
No, that looks like it might have, well, that might have been a piece of an oar that broke. You got to remember, in their culture, they use and reuse everything, so might well have been something that was an oar originally. Now they repurposed it as a support beam. Type of loom was used for the construction of mats. The rocks held the cordage, and when passed back and forth, cinched the cattails in place and acted as counterweights during the weaving process. Oh, they must do demonstrations. There's a sign there that says staff only. But yeah, this was a mat weaving loom. And this is the last thing here. We'll have to see what this is. Okay. This is the work shelter. This structure provides protection from the elements. Activities related to the structure involve basket weaving, cloth construction, food preparation, pottery, and other jobs considered as woman's work. Boy, would that be sexist in this society nowadays. All right. A couple of stumps, probably for people to sit on. Very typical. Fire's right in the middle. Though I don't actually see a trapdoor up top, so I guess this would get pretty smoky after a while. See, somebody was working on some hides there. If you notice a theme here, there's a hide in pretty much every single structure here, whether it's sleeping, working, or what have you. Some more hides up there. You can see some of the dishes they would have eaten up there. Another basket. Probably the Indian corn was on that originally. Yeah, very, very interesting. Imagine the skills you would need to weave stuff like this is unbelievable. And of course, some type of pelt is covering the roof there to keep all the rain out. This is the most sealed structure they have here. So I can imagine people probably want to stay in here. The majority of is the trading post. That's the only one that's populated at the moment. A little fire. They have their goods in the back.
To get when the sap rises, it means the tree is growing. So you score at the top, the bottom, and then right down through the center, and you're basically reaching up as high as you can go at that point. At that point, you're able to get up underneath the bark, and it pops off into one big sheet. Using axes, using your hands, because you're able to just kind of pull it off, and it pops off into one big sheet.
Somebody do it at the right time.
They were just educating us a little bit. They said this is actually about 3 years old now. This is the longhouse, and what she was saying is years ago it would have lasted a lot longer, but as you can see, even at just 3 years old, part of this is starting to decay, and that's mainly because the types of trees that we have now do not have that strong a bark. Back in the day, they would have used something like a chestnut tree, and there really aren't that many of those left around here, and it's sadly pretty much down to different diseases that they have picked up over the years, and I'm sure that our lifestyle, acid rain, probably had a little bit to do with that, but like I said, about every 3 or 4 years, it looks like they actually have to rebuild this. And even though it's good for a little while longer, she said it's definitely going to need to get a rebuild. One last area I forgot to show you guys, this communal cooking area. Shared cooking responsibilities allowed the women to maximize their time. Outdoor kitchens provided space for a variety of cooking techniques, such as grilling or smoking on racks, boiling or stewing in clay pots, and frying on flat stones. You can see some of the utensils they had here. Some of the homemade knives right there. That looks a little more modern. Different bowls that they made out of all the various types of trees in the area. And what cooking area would be complete without a piece of the Indian red corn? And as you can see, they got some of that hanging up right there. Not sure what that is. Must be for some type of liquid, maybe a broth or some water. Got some clay or adobe pots down there. And you do have one metal pot here. But yeah, nice that the women could get together for the whole village and cook right in the center. That way they share all the responsibility. Not like today where we cook for each other's, for our individual family. And it can take like 2 or 3 hours each day of our lives. I'm sure it took that amount of time or longer, but they could share those responsibilities, freeing some of the women up to do other things as well.